Hey, Shalom, Shah, I want to start off swords, but give no praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakadash, to belong to the apostle of GMS, and honestly, brothers doing the work and truth, more sincerity. This is going to be a real quick one on, really, it's because you've had a couple cruise ships that have been, quarantined or not allowed to, dock or whatever, what have you, or, cases where passengers were quarantined in their rooms. I believe. Don't quote me on that. There's an article from the BBC. It says coronavirus or cruise ships really floating petri dishes. Right, it says the largest coronavirus outbreak outside mainland China is not any country, but on a cruise ship. Right. It says it's been more than a week since the Diamond Princess went into lockdown after a previous passenger tested positive for the virus after disembarking. Then it goes on and says, and on another cruise ship in Hong Kong, 3,600 passengers, people were quarantined because of fears that people on board might have the virus. Then they were allowed, so that's 3,600 people just in one small space, right? Another one says on the cruise ship carrying more than 1,450 passengers, which left Hong Kong on February the 1st, was turned away from ports in Japan, Taiwan, Guam, and Philippines, despite no one even being infected on board, but because it came from that particular part of the world, then people was like, nah, we ain't going let it through, right? Says cruise ships have for years been referred to as floating petri dishes, and if I remember correctly, you get when you did like biology at school, they basically you have like a little plastic dish, and then they'd put viruses in, and then you'd see after a week, and then what was just like a sneeze or maybe fingerprints or whatever, and then now you're seeing all the mold, and everything. It just looks hella nasty, right? You can Google it for yourself to see what it looks like. Right? It says, do viruses spread more easily on cruise ships, right? And then one doctor is saying yes, that they do. Then someone else is, which called Stuart Chiron, a cruise expert, says basically people don't really interact that much, this, that, and the other, right? But and even this, I'm looking at, I'm like, are they actually eating? That's a sea urchin, man. You ain't supposed to be eating no sea urchin, right? I know in South Korea they be eating that shit, and this is probably a Moabite ship, anyway. So they be, I mean, you know, but that's just these heathens for you. And this is one of the reasons why these things are happening, right? Because the Lord is starting to visit and punish the world for its wickedness, right? Last I haven't got a lot. It's just more just how them guys were out, probably on the holiday, some people's holiday of a lifetime, because them cruises are expensive, right? You look at the size of that ship, that would have been millions and millions to make, right? Then you've got all of the facilities on board, 3,600 people. You get some towns that have that many people, right? This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 4. It says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, right? And those people on that ship would have been living it up, having a good time. Then out of nowhere, boom. Right now they're stuck. Right, and that's how it's gonna be in these days. Right, but for us, we're in the know. Right, we are in the know, which is why the scriptures say this, Isaiah 33 and 6. Right, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Right. So for us, we were expecting pestilences, right? We're expecting wars and rumors of wars, right? The scripture says these are the beginning of sorrows. When we know from watching and praying, Mark 13:33, watch and pray, right? For you know not when the time is, right? So we're watching and we're praying, right? And what do you call it? We're looking for these things to happen. So when it does happen, it doesn't catch us unawares. In fact, it excites us. It makes us go, "Ooh, is this the one? Is this, are things gonna heat up?" I mean, look at the amount of things. I mean, it's only the middle of February, right? And how much things have happened for middle of January. Everyone was thinking, Iran and America was just gonna go to loggerheads, right? And we don't know what's going to happen with this thing going forward, this coronavirus going forward. But it is just, at the very least, it's a sign from the Most High that, look, man, I'm starting to just visit this earth. And for us, it's joyous because we know what happens when the Lord, visits this earth properly. It's the downfall of this man's kingdom, right, in the beginning of the next, right, which is why we enjoy what's going on, right? But just on a previous scripture, hey, when brothers get around, yeah, we'll have a good time with each other or whatever, what have you, right? But in our mind, we know what's happening, right? If we go, if we go to, to do something or whatever, what have you, right? We know, look, man, if while I'm away, there's a good chance that something might break out. So brothers are always, aware of what's going on, because at the end of the day, we've all got to. There's certain things that we've got to do, right? You might have what do you call it? You might have your mom or your dad might be ill. You might have to go visit them. Might be somewhere else or whatever, what have you. But in doing so, at the back of your mind, look, man, anything can happen at any moment. So if anything does, right, then you have the understanding. Hey, if you get stuck, you have to understand. Maybe the Lord just wants me to be here right now, whatever, what have you. But in your mind, you know that these things can happen, right? And there's gonna be a time when everything's locked down anyway. Your scriptures talk about in Ezra's, right? The man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? And you've been seeing that with this quarantine. You have, for instance, BA basically have said they ain't gonna do flights to China until the end of March. Right, we're not even in March. We're not even halfway through. Halfway. We're not at the halfway point of February, and they're already saying end of March. So imagine the amount of money that they're losing, right? Which is why people are like, yo, it's this thing's bad. On the surface they're kind of like, oh, it's just 1,000 people or so that died or whatever, what have you. But for all of these big organizations to just straight up say, look, man, we ain't going, fly. We're basically gonna cancel a route. I'd forget the ins and outs, so you're gonna have to, what do you call it, just confirm that. But I was reading that China basically either they've blocked direct flights or they're not gonna have any flights. It's one of the two, right? But either way, money, them direct flights are expensive, so you're losing money, that way, right? This is Matthew 24:38. It says, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Right? Now, get this, because once again, them people, this thing happened to them unawares. Right? It was, they were just having fun, and then all of a sudden, boom, now they're quarantined. Now they can't leave the place that they're in. Someone might be seasick or whatever. They're like, look, man, I thought I'd enjoy this, but actually I just want to get on land, but they can't even do that, right? They're stuck, right? They're stuck, and it just like that, just in the days of Noah, everyone was just having fun, whatever, what have you, and then out of nowhere, bam, rain started falling from the sky, and once again, just like when the Most High comes back, right? Not Most High, when Yahweh Shai comes back, right? People are gonna see, they're gonna be like, out of nowhere. Then but the thing is, they've got the signs. Well, but then again, the people of old had Noah telling them what was going to happen, just like how the people now have, starting with the apostles on down, people telling them what's going to happen, what to expect, right? What does it say in Isaiah the 6th chapter, right? Ears that they should, ears, but they should, not being able to hear, and eyes, but not being able to see, right? Lest basically they can, get the understanding of this truth, right? Because they're not wanted, right? Sad but true, right? As the saying goes, right? It says, "I knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Right. So we don't know when the Lord's gonna come back, but we've been left signs, right? In fact, if we scroll, come on, scroll up. This is verse 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahweh shall answer them and said unto them, take ye heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahweh Shai, or rather, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many, right? And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and which was the whole Iran thing, American Iran, at the beginning of the year, that looked hot as fuck, right? But we were looking at the prophecies, it was like, yeah, but scriptures say, that's why it's important to know these scriptures, right? Because the scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out, referring to Israel. All right, so we know basically, we was like, okay, this is hot, saying it, but this is hot, right? It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war, like I said once again, like we saw at the beginning of the year, right? It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, right? It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, and this coronavirus is a pestilence, right? Because all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? And what's going to be next is, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. That's coming up. And that's what one of the things brothers have to get their minds, Salakia, prepared for, right? Because Esau's going to come for us, man, and we just got to be prepared, right? So yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, always be aware, no matter what it is you're doing, wherever it is you're going, or whatever, what have you. You might just be going, to go meet brothers and somewhere else or whatever, what have you, right? And then anything can happen, right? That's what most one of the reasons why we always got to pray, that for going anywhere, but the Lord protects us and what do you call it, and takes care of us in our journeys and our travels, right? So as always, Lord's what I was edifying, watch and pray, and hey, Lord's all this can be the year we get out of this kingdom, right? It certainly started off, it certainly started off the right way, right? So until next time, I'm gonna say Shalom.